Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn energy reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, I'm going to get my Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. We're going to see what you may possibly be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and possible future energies. So what you may be struggling with is victory and success. What you may need to look at is number 19, light, and that is the sun. And then possible future energies. The Ace of Wands, passion ignited. All right, bottom of the deck, we have fulfillment of wishes. Look at that, the Nine of Cups. How cool is that? Fulfillment of wishes. That's what we all hope for, right? That's what we all want. That's what we're all striving for. Or at least, you know, I would think all of us, if not most of us. But anyways, let's see, what cards do I want to use? I'm thinking these. Let's go with these. All right, what you may be struggling with. We have victory and success. This is the Six of Wands. Now we have the Four of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords. We have the Emperor, which also can represent Aries, okay? So what you could possibly be struggling, for some reason, when I heard that victory and success, the message of there was something that you were trying to do in your past that you were trying to have victory and success over, and it didn't work out. And there's still that frustration for you that situation, whether it was a relationship, a job, or whatever that thing was that you were trying to accomplish or you were trying to do, that frustration of that not working out is still lingering around you, that you're still dealing with that frustration that something didn't work out. I feel that you're struggling with a calmness. You're struggling with trying to move past the situation. I feel like you're struggling with, how do I move on from this? How do I gain control of this? How do I free myself from this irritation, this frustration, or this letdown of this situation not working out? And sometimes we think that we've moved on from something, but we really haven't, because in our subconscious or in the back of our mind, or, you know, there's still this little nagging feeling that, you know, gosh, that really still irritates me that that didn't work out. I'll give an example. When I first started this, when I very first started this channel, it was actually a makeup channel. The videos aren't there anymore. I still have them. They're just not to the public. But I had started this channel in 2015, and I had started as a makeup channel. I knew I wanted to do something with YouTube, but I really wasn't sure. And then, you know, it had been a couple of years, and then I had started getting into the tarot. Like I've told you before, that it was really helping me with watching other channels. I wanted to do it myself. And I was so overwhelmed with, how do I get this started? How do I do this? You know, this was a while ago, before all of this social media stuff was popular. And I had done some videos, and I had some videos that were doing really, really good. Like I was getting a lot of views, I got like 10,000 views on one video. And it was like, I got so overwhelmed with it that I actually backed away. And then the channel I stopped doing it. And then I got back into it again. And I had a lot of ups and downs with this channel, getting back to it and then walking away from it. But for a long time, I was frustrated. I was like, if I had just hung in there, if I had just kept doing those videos, if I had just this or that, or shoulda, coulda, woulda. And for probably a year or a couple of years, it aggravated me, because I was like, oh, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I pursue that? Why didn't I keep going with it? Because I could see it when I look at the lifetime of my channel, because you have all these analytics, and I see where that moment was where I was on the rise and I was about to break into the tarot reading, but I had given up on it. And it took me a long time to get past the fact of being irritated with myself that I didn't continue with that. But how I've come through that is looking at, okay, so we have light here, the sun, the positive is that at that time I wasn't ready to have that success. I wasn't mentally ready. I had a lot of stuff I had to work through first. It probably took me 2 years to 3 years to try and work through that before I can be dedicated to this channel. And at that time I wasn't ready. What is the light of the situation, right? This is what you need to look at. What is the positive from the situation? Or shining the light on the truth of the situation, because instead of being frustrated with yourself that, why didn't I do that, and being angry and mad at yourself, but to say, okay, the reality of the situation was I just wasn't ready for that at the time. It was too overwhelming for me. And I feel like it's whatever situation that you have that you're frustrated that didn't work out, is to not beat yourself up about it, because it's almost like you're holding yourself back from moving forward, because you're holding yourself from, number one, enjoying the present and accomplishing goals in the future, because you keep looking back, you keep going back, you keep being frustrated with this lack of victory and success from the situation. So it's looking at, how can I move past this? How can I let this go? How can I realize that, okay, at that time I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to process it. I wasn't ready to have it. I wasn't in that frame of mind. Because you're in the frame of mind now where you're like, yeah, if that had happened, this happens now, I can handle it and I can deal with it. I can, appreciate that or whatever. But at that time, you weren't ready for that. And that's what you have to tell yourself. And that's what you have to realize. And that's what you have to let go of, is say, okay, it wasn't meant to be back then. But now I feel like I'm ready for it. Now I'm ready to move forward. Now I'm having this passion ignited, because this passion is ignited because you've let this go over here, because this is kind of the damper that's on your flame that has been stopping you from moving forward, because you keep looking back. You can't change the past. It is what it is. What happened, happened. In this moment, how can I move past this? How can I move forward, right? And go with it. Move forward from it. And that's what I did with this channel, is, okay, I got to buckle down. I got to get back to it. I got to have, some consistency. I have to put more effort into it. I have to focus on it. If that's what I want to have, then that's what I need to do. That leads to this 9 of Cups. Fulfillment of wishes. Whatever that wish is, whether it's a positive outlook, whether it's a job, whether it's a YouTube channel, whatever that is, having the best relationship possible, whatever that represents for you, that this is what you have to work on, right? This is what you have to move past from, because it's really holding you back. Even though you may say, and I didn't always focus on that, but every once in a while it would pop up, in that frustration. And every time I would look at my analytics, I'd be like, oh, I'm so mad at myself for not that I didn't keep going with that. But I've learned to finally let that go, and I feel like, okay, now I'm ready to focus in the moment and move forward. All right, so let's grab some more cards here for current energy. Right, looking back, that's exactly what the 7 of Pentacles is looking back, right? And finding the light in the situation, right? What is the positive of the situation? Or realizing, hey, at that time I wasn't ready for that. Because I'm ready for it now, I have a different perspective of it. But I wasn't ready for that at the time. And to not be frustrated with yourself that, oh, I really wish I had done that. lots of emotions, lots of feelings, and letting those go, right? To acknowledge those. If you feel mad, let yourself be mad, let yourself be angry, let yourself be hurt, let yourself be upset, but then to acknowledge those feelings, acknowledge that energy, right? And then be like, okay, I processed it, right? I let myself be mad about that. I let myself be frustrated or irritated, but now I'm ready to move forward, right? Now I'm ready to get past this. Now I'm ready with the Magician to take control of the situation. And we have the infinity sign, which is individual empowerment and everlasting love. Now I'm ready to take control of a situation. All of this, right? We have all of the, I don't know what these are called, but the swords, the cups, the pentacles, the wands, that now I realize I'm in control of the situation, because really that situation was in control of me. It was controlling whether I was happy or I was sad or I was irritated or I was angry, and it was always dragging me back to this. But now I feel, because I processed it, right? I went through the emotions, I went through the feelings, now I'm in control. That's what you have to look at, is that now you're in control. You're living in the present, you're seeing the light of the situation, and then we're moving on to this Ace of Wands, where passion is ignited. Change, right? Change. If we want change, how do we work? How do we make things change? How do we work through change? How do we, change it to, now my passion is ignited. Now I'm ready to go. Look at this. We have the Ace of Swords. So we have the Ace of Wands here, and we have the Ace of Swords here. It's like, Ace of Swords is like coming up with those solutions, is that realizing I've got to think differently. I've got to look at this differently. I've got to process this differently. I have to see this differently. Definitely with the King of Swords, same thing. The King of Swords is somebody who is very analytical and seeing things from a different perspective and saying, okay, I've let this go. Now where do I go, right? What's my next step? This fulfillment of wishes. Where do I want to go? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Where do I want to go with this? Where do I see my future going with this? Now I have that freedom of, I'm not dealing with my frustration with what happened here. And that's what we have to realize, and that's what we have to work on, is what are those things that are holding us back? What does our mind keep going to? What do we keep getting irritated by? What do we keep focusing on, even though it may not be something that we're focusing on all the time? But what is that thing that's dragging us down, that we feel, I'm kind of envisioning that, when people get married and they have those cans that are tied to the back of their car, because they don't do that anymore, but, just sort of that image of what is that you're dragging behind you, that you need to turn around and see that, hey, I've got to change this. What is that? What keeps coming to your mind? All right, so let's just get a final message here. We have, what is that? What is it that you have to let go of? What do you have to move forward, right? What do you have to acknowledge? What is it that you have to see and then move forward? We have the Sun, which is right in the middle, and I love how the wands are coming right towards you, right? This positive energy wants to come towards you. This positive energy, to move forward wants to happen. Again, Eight of Cups, letting go of something. We have the Sun again here, so it's like, okay, I'm ready to let this go, and I'm ready to focus on the positive. I'm ready to leave this behind, because I don't want it controlling me. I don't want it holding me back anymore. I don't want it to have a say in how my life is going to go. I want to have a say. We have Two of Cups, so it's that, I feel like it's kind of helping yourself, that relationship that you have with yourself. What is it that you can do to improve things? That if you're feeling held back, what do you have to look at? Again, we have the Three of Wands, which we have over here, moving towards the future. And then on the sail, we have the Fool, the Jester, which is on the Fool card. And it's like, taking chances with things. What does this fulfillment of wishes mean for you? If we were sitting across from each other and I said, what does that represent to you? What is a Nine of Cups? What is fulfillment of wishes? What are your wishes? What is that fulfillment? What does that mean to you? What does that represent for you? And then what is it that you feel that is holding you back here, that you had wanted to accomplish but you didn't, that is stopping you from this? I feel the best way to get through things is to ask yourself those questions, or to have that person that asks you those tough questions, or really gets deep with those questions, to really get to the bottom of what's really going on. We have Temperance, which is Sagittarius. This is something that takes time. It takes time to process. It takes time to see. It takes time to work through. We have to do it at our own pace. Someone else may work through it quicker. Someone else may work through it slower. But we have to do it at the pace that we feel most comfortable with. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. And don't get caught up in, well, so-and-so did this or so-and-so did that. It doesn't matter. This is your story. This is your life. This is your direction. This is your goals. This is your fulfillment of wishes. And to not let what other people, what's going on with them, affect you. We have the Five of Pentacles, where it's a temporary hardship and you're feeling kind of on the outside. But I like this one because we have the coin that is very clear here that is falling into this person's hand. And I feel like it's those opportunities are coming. They're not quite here. They haven't quite reached the hand, but they're coming in for you, because especially with this being right below the wheel, is that there's change coming in. And that's what we have to embrace and we have to see, and to not get caught up in that frustration of, it's not happening at the speed that I wanted to, but clearly you have things here that you have to let go of. With this Eight of Cups and with this Three of Swords, there's something that you have to let go of. We have the Hierophant, which represents Taurus, which also I feel is having that solid foundation. It's that belief that, okay, I can handle anything, that I can get past this, that faith, that belief. It's also having that person that you really rely on. That's, I was saying before, do you have that person that can really get to the bottom of it and ask you those questions and be unbiased, and someone that you can trust with your emotions and feelings, that you can let down that guard and work through those things with. We have the King of Cups, which I always feel is just letting it go, right? Focusing on what you need to focus on, but letting go what you need to let go of that's holding you back. And sometimes we really need to sit down and figure those things out and see what those things are. That's what I was saying, is we need to sit down and we need to figure out those things and those goals and the directions where we want to go, but also to be in the moment and see what are those things that we need to work on. I feel fulfillment of wishes, that Nine of Cups, is really that overall energy, is how do you get, what does that represent to you, and how do you get there? What are those steps that you can take? If you want to have that fulfillment of wishes, what are those things that you can do? You have to take actions to change things in order to make those things happen. If you accept things the way that they always are and you keep staying in this frustrated energy because this didn't happen before, it's not going to get you to this point. Or at least that's how I feel. All right, so this one just popped over. This is the Whispers of Healing, and we have compassion. I feel like it's having compassion for yourself. We can definitely have compassion for other people and feeling sorry for them, or being more gentle because that's what they need. But do we have that for ourselves? Do we take it easy on ourselves? Do we look out for ourselves? Do we look at what our needs are and where we need, that support, or where we need that, I feel like it goes with that Hierophant is, having that strong base and not having compassion for ourselves to realize, hey, I wasn't ready for this back here, but now I am, and to not beat yourself up about the frustration of that not happening in the past. Is that having that compassion towards yourselves. We can definitely do that for other people, but do we do it up for ourselves? Definitely a good question. All right, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.